Welcome back to another Shadowverse gameplay video. Today we're once again going for a budget verse, but I mean, I just really want to play this deck. I love playing this deck. It's really fun. It's going to be the BudgetVerse 10K edition that we had, which is the Driver's Ed deck is what I have it because of Fairy Driver, but it's really an aggro forest deck. Looking at the list on the side, you can see that the vial is now, let's see, it's hard for me to actually see how much it costs because I have it open. Oh, 98.50. So the costs have actually gone down by 600. And that's because we've actually gone ahead and taken out one of the cards. Whoops. Cancel that. Take a look at the preview before we step into the game. But we've actually taken out one of these spring green protection. Basically, the thought here is it's a pretty good one drop and it's pretty good early, but a lot of the time I didn't see myself playing it in the early game. I still like the fact that it actually ends up drawing a card, so it provides a little bit of value, and then if you play it early enough, you'll get the card back. But a lot of the time, you know, you want to attack with the one play point, you know, we're one attack follower, and then at the end of the turn it becomes a 2-1, but then they just kill it with, you know, a 1-1 or like a removal, and it doesn't really work out. I've gone ahead and replaced that with a Blessed Fairy Dancer. I've played a couple games with this new list. Honestly, I don't think it's that great of a card. Other options are Beetle Warrior, which I was playing an aggro forest deck before with Beetle Warrior. I don't really know if it really fits in with the strategy that much, but I'm testing this. The spring spring green protection has definitely been, in my opinion, the card that is most, you know, I'm most iffy about. It's pretty good. Like if you bounce it with one of your bounce spells, like if you have. Instead of being, you know, bouncing a fairy, now you can bounce that for an airbound barrage. You still get to draw a card, which is pretty good. But honestly, I don't really like the card in the list that much. So we're trying it out with the Blessed Fairy Dancer. Also gives us some immediacy. So I think one of the harder parts about playing this deck, if there's a hard part about playing the deck, is the mulligan. Do we really want to keep win conditions in our hand? Because if you think about these games, this deck's early game is 1 and 2 drops. And, you know, even some of the win conditions like the Roach are 2 drops. Do we really want to keep the Fairy Driver? I mean, it's going to be the overall way to win the game, but I think against Blood we don't really need to keep it. I do like having access to the Water Fairy, though our opponent could be playing some sort of deck with the Ambling Wraith, which would be a little annoying. As one play point 1/2s generally are. We'll just go drop the Water Fairy. I think generally against most iterations of Blood, we're probably favored. I have not actually seen aggro Blood at all this meta, so I don't know if that's the deck. So let's see. Our opponent plays a Blood Wolf, which, looking at this, is perfect for us. We have actually some options here. I prefer to trade in here. It gets us a fairy in hand, and the other option would be to play the Wood of Brambles. I think we will get a decent amount of leverage out of the Wood of Brambles this game. Spiderweb Imp would be horrible. This looks to be Vengeance or aggro. Something maybe like a disagreeable. Oh, Vate. Okay. Ooh, Airbound Barrage. So I think the play probably is Airbound Barrage here. We don't want them to get too much value. This also lets us, you know, keep our board with two cheap followers, which is pretty nice. We'll see what our opponent does here. This could still be like an aggro version, like a mid-rangey version, or still Vengeance if it just is Belphegor off our opponent or Soul Dealer. Okay, that's not too bad for us. That's very good for us. I feel like Elven Princess Mage is one of those cards that you evolve even if not to like deal damage to the face. Even if you could evolve a fairy, you just still want to get that value out of the Elven Princess Mage. So we have an interesting option. In terms of board plays for our opponent, I can only really think about Revelation for Blood. I think the difference between having a fairy is fine. So if we think about Roach, it's not that expensive. It's really, we're really gonna be doing the combo if we have like 4 1-drops and a roach. It's really gonna be, you know, turn 6. So having this at 0 is not the worst thing. Like not the greatest thing in the world. So dropping it is fine. Our opponent chooses not to evolve, which is unexpected. Ooh, Nature's Guidance is one of those interesting cards where, you know, I'm not a roach player, so, but I think if I was a roach player, I don't think I could get lethal on this turn, but So Wood of Brambles is also an interesting one. I think we go for the Fairy Whisper here.
May the forest be at peace. It won't be long now.
Now, the reason, like, I could put my opponent into Vengeance here.
Wish I tried harder.
I think I'm gonna play a Fairy, even though
Let's play.
this play is kind of bad against like Hungering Horde type of play. Our opponent could still, you know, go like a Blood Wolf into, you know, Diabolic Drain, which would be annoying. But looking at this, I don't really want to put our opponent into Vengeance. Really, the most annoying card would be Diabolic Drain that I can think of. Urias is fine. Dark General, as you can, so our opponent's probably playing some sort of Vengeance type of list.
I'm gonna rest for a bit.
Let's see what we draw. Another Nature's Guidance. So, I mean, I guess in this case, the 0 play point Fairy would have been useful. I don't think I have lethal. Maybe I do though. Let's see. So if we go 0 play point, so we have 3 damage on board. We go Fairy as 1 spell. Rhinoceros deals 2 damage. Then we bounce it back with the Nature's Guidance. That's me 3. Another one here would be 4. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't actually know if this is gonna be lethal, but we're gonna go and try it. So the play is to go Fairy first.
Hey, let's play.
Fairy Circle. I think Rhinoceros Roach here.
Ow!
Hit the face. Nature's Guidance. Another Rhinoceros. Perfect. Without even need of the vault point.
Your strength is for me.
Perfect. So I think actually, see now, I'm even learning, you know, playing the deck. Like looking at it now, the 0 play point for actually could have, you know, boosted our lethal if we needed it, because it would count as another spell. I think it would give us an opportunity to do. In that case, it would be 1 extra damage, which, I mean, if you're playing like Roach, you're playing aggro, you know, every damage counts. It's not like we're playing some sort of control deck where every damage to the face, you know. But like, I think in that case, so we had 4 followers on the board. We could have traded in, so each, in order to play the 0 play point Fairy, we would need to clear up our board. So trading in 1 damage from our board again would give us an extra 1 space, which that 0 play point follower actually counts for 2 instances of Roach, so it would be 1 extra damage, because one of our Fairies would have to trade into their follower. We're against Haven. I mean, at least we're not against, you know, a bunch of PDK dragons just like the last video. I think this is just probably a bad hand. It's gotta be a bad hand, I think. Ugh, this hand's not looking good either. I think the worst matchup here is actually, I think Storm can be difficult, but Alana's honestly is a really difficult matchup, I think. Well, I was beat up by Alana's when I was playing this deck.
Hi there.
Say hi to our opponent. Ooh, this is not looking too great. Haven is actually, you know, I think Haven got a lot of tools. They have access to a lot of 1-drops this meta. Yeah, no, Sylvan Justices are not very good against Haven. Ooh, man. I think we just play it. I mean, what are we doing if we're not just playing our followers? Fairy Whisper, Fairy Circle, except like those are the types of cards we're looking for. Princess Mage is
No!
I think like Haven is an interesting matchup. Like if we're able to like play have followers in the early game, we're doing pretty well. Now that we're in like the kind of middle stages of the game, it's getting a little more difficult. Tribunal, like if we had like a decent board, clearing one follower is like not that advantageous for our opponent. Another Sylvan Justice, Jesus. Man, what is this? What is going on here?
The forest is crying for help.
I'm gonna choose to evolve here.
Done for.
It's like the utility of these 0 play point fairies is just so high. Maybe it was correct to play one there. I'm not sure, but I think actually it was probably correct to play one there. Yeah, that maybe not though. I mean, it trades so efficiently with the 2/1. Like it. Okay.
Such negative magic. Come on!
One just has a bunch of tribunals. Elf Song. Okay. I just wish we had like more elves. Oh, jeez. Or sorry, fairies. Jeez.
Hey, let's play. It won't be long.
I like getting the Sylvan Justice out of the hand. Like they turn into fairies, which is good for us. We're not in a great position. Definitely. Haven is also kind of annoying because they have access to Themis, which if our plan is just to go wide, not necessarily go wide, but if our plan is just to like, yeah, go wide, I guess, they can just blow up our board. The Tribunal is gonna start to become a little annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Fairy Driver. This is a little bit aggressive. Not really, I would say aggressive, but the Clerical Answer is really annoying for us. I don't believe our opponent to be Stormhaven, some sort of mid-rangey Aegis. Zodiac Demon, okay. So it's like a heresy type of, yeah, okay. Okay. I will say that was certainly unexpected. Cynthia probably has to be the play here. Hopefully we're able to dodge the Tribunal also here.
Hey, let's play.
Do I actually want to play a fairy? Let's see. I think we forgo it. Actually gonna try and set up some sort of roach combo, which could be possible. Oh, thank God. I mean, there's no easy way for our opponent to remove that, yeah, which is nice. Tarnish Grail. Okay, well. That is not a good sign for us. This is going to be the most difficult turn of the game. I think it's going to be this turn.
Buzzing, flitting insects.
Hey, let's play.
Make yourself useful.
Hey, let's play.
Make yourself useful.
So we're going to decide to go for like some sort of roach play or save roach stuff for next turn. I think we can do that.
Hey, let's play.
Make yourself useful.
Don't hurt me. No! Stop!
I mean, if our opponent can kill us this turn, I mean, if they just play Themis, they're not going to be able to play any of the Apocalypse cards that they got. And if they don't play a Ward, I mean, a Ward would certainly be...
This place is cherished.
Yeah, this is actually a card we wanted to see from our opponent. see here. I think we want to see. Maybe we didn't though. So Sylvan Justice is a play first.
If God chose this path, then
Let's see. Fairy.
hey, let's play.
Fairy.
Hey, let's play.
Rhinoceros just gonna get +3/+1. Or +3/+0. Get in the face. Nature's Guidance. Rhinoceros again. Perfect.
I have lost.
I mean, like, I was playing against the Alana's deck, and oh, there's a standard pack ticket. Yeah, I actually played a bunch of games with this deck yesterday. Had a bunch of forest quests, so got those missions completed. But I think in general, Haven's favorite matchup for this deck. A lot of time, like we really needed the Fairy Driver was pretty important, paramount there. We're not a dedicated Roach deck, so we can't always guarantee to have Roach in our hand. But as long as we get a round of attacks in with like a Fairy Driver, our hand will be able to, do stuff with the Roach. Like Roach burst from hand, Fairy Driver burst from hand is really what you're looking at. The Alana's deck I was actually facing had the Aether of the White Wing into like Tanko, so they had huge board, they gained a huge sum of life. It was just not very good for us. Well, the Fabled Sword matchup. Oh man. This is interesting. Like, I think Elf Song is going to be good enough where I keep it, but it's possible it's not that good. Oh, Perseus is the one we did not want to see. I mean, we keep this hand because we want to see our opponent play Quick Blader. Man, what is with these draws, man? Like, now you get, no Sylvan Justice, no nothing. If our opponent wants to play a little, the Oathless Knight definitely signals me that they want to hit face. Then we have Sylvan Justice. So if we go Fairy Whisperer. Actually interesting.
May the forest be at peace. Stay away.
I'm gonna remove a little bit of our opponent's board presence here. We will see what we do next turn. Kinda depends. Elf Song is pretty good. Wood of Brambles, Sylvan Justice somewhere earlier would have been really nice. Vanguard. So it looks like our opponent's draw is very, low drop heavy. Ooh, did they forget to attack with this? Ooh, that's good for us, I suppose.
Hey, let's play. Hey, let's play. Help me, fairy. Let's play.
I think we make this play, we make our opponent decide, so on 4 play points they don't really have, like Geno is, I don't even know if Geno's played in these types of decks, but like, yeah, Palace Fencer, yeah, that's the type of card we kind of want to see. Not really.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, actually that's pretty good for us.
Come on.
So Council of Card Knights is the card we do not want to see for sure. But the Elven Princess Mage is always a nice one to see, but I think the type of play here is clear. It's a Elf Song play here.
I lost.
Actually, we actually get to evolve. I don't know what I was thinking. We actually do get an evolution point on this turn, which is really nice.
I'm so sparkly. Help me, fairies.
I think we're gonna go ahead and do this.
Should have been quicker.
Our opponent on 5 has 2 turns to kill us, which is kind of possible, I think. Looking at that now it's very possible.
You're done for.
That's a little unfortunate for us. Our opponent's gonna have Albert, and as a 1 card piece, our opponent would have Albert. Yeah, this was one of the reasons I was thinking, you know, Pixie Mischief might be one of the cards we wanted. We don't really have a good way to burst our opponent down here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Something like a Blessed Fairy Dancer would be pretty cool here, but I mean,
The forest is crying for
I
help.
think the play is
It won't be long now.
this is one of the only cards we couldn't like. Konoichi Masters is one of the only cards we couldn't like favorably interact with.
You wouldn't.
I think we're still dead here. They have Albert. If they have Alwidas, we're dead. Probably Alwidas because, you know, why not? Why not have the 6-drop on turn 6? But I think Sword in general, this is a pretty good deck against Sword. Like Elf Song is a good card we could have. Wood of Brambles is a decent card we can have in the earlier parts of the game. Centaur Vanguard does not have Storm
It won't be long now.
because none of the followers you have are commanders. We kind of just, you know, I looked at the last turn and just played something random out into the last turn. Our opponent's going to be trading, which is very interesting. We do have lethal in hand if something survives, which something survives, so we actually have lethal. We do not have lethal now. Ooh, that's a decent, a bit of a value if you ask me.
Withdraw. Hey, let's play. Hey, let's play. Hey, let's play.
Yeah, I'll play this too. So I mean, I don't care what my opponent really has. We have a. Actually, that was a misplay on my part. Maybe I shouldn't have played. Maybe I should have. Basically, I was trying to set it up where, because Fairy Driver on 7, with 3 fairies in hand would set up a nice lethal there. But looks like we can just go ahead and. I think this is lethal. Oh, well, I mean, we can probably set up a lethal here.
Blimey.
We trade these off. Oh, Okay, yeah, note to self: do not play the Wood of Brambles when you don't need to. But
This ends here.
we'll just go ahead and do this. Wood of Brambles expire next turn. Nothing our opponent can really do
You wouldn't.
using one singular card. Kind of filled up the board a little too much. If this wasn't there, actually, we would have had lethal with Fairy Driver and 2 fairies, but a little unfortunate. I don't think our opponent can really do anything, which they don't.
I should have foreseen this.
Kind of, you know, I kind of checked out a little after we got that sick Elf Song play, which is a common theme with this type of deck.
I won.
6 wins in a row, man. Like just racking in those wins, This is a new day. Playing a lot of fairy. This deck is, I mean, I really love the playstyle of this deck. You know, playing a lot of early followers, you can kind of go for some board control, kind of go for some aggro. It's just super versatile in that sense. We will see what we can find here. We are gonna play by the standard BudgetVerse rules, playing 5 games.
Time for me to prove
Let's see
myself.
how long it's actually been. It's only been around 23 minutes, which is nice. Ooh. So I think I would have preferred if this was a 1 play point follower, but I don't think I can complain with this type of hand. So the Airbound Barrage gives us a decent play against different types of followers for our opponent. The Wood of Brambles is sometimes the card we kind of want. And the Airbound Barrage can actually bounce Wood of Brambles if we need that type of play. Ooh, Water Fairy. I still think it's actually better to play the Fairy Circle here. Just interesting. This hand, I think, feels a lot better playing first.
Become a worthy knight.
That's not the card we want to see.
Oh, come on!
So we go double 1-drop. We can afford to go double one drop here.
Let's play.
It really depends on the opponent. Sometimes they go ahead and trade in for value here. If they do that, we'll be able to airbound barrage this. We'll see what they play though. They are going to trade in, which is also fine for us here,
Oh, come
I
on.
think. Maybe not. Not the best played by me here. I think we are going to go ahead and just go for this trade.
We're together forever.
Not in a great position here. Kind of also depends on what kind of plays your opponents are making, but
The legend
Perseus is not what I want. You know, Princess Vanguard. So I think they're all commanders right here. Yeah.
The forest is crying for help. You're done
So it's kind of interesting here if we want to actually play the fairies.
Guide me, Elder Tree. Life lasts but
Our opponent does know about the Wood of Brambles, but I think this is going to save us a little bit of damage, and if our opponent's hand isn't that powerful, which honestly it probably is because you know, their last term was pretty weak. They probably have high drops, yeah, around table assembly.
My love is a treacherous red. You are done for. This is a tragedy. No. Oh, come
I mean, Aggro Sword just playing first is, you know, it does what it does.
Oh, come on! Come on!
We're not in a great position. Our deck doesn't have wards, which is one of the reasons why. I think Wood of Brambles is certainly a play here. So that's the easy trade to make.
Romeo, I'm coming to you.
See if we play a Water Fairy. Evolve this.
It won't be long now.
Okay, so we're gonna be able to clear the board. That's the thing.
People are evil. Stay away.
We're not gonna be able to see if we're actually gonna be able to.
Romeo, I'm coming to you. Life lasts but an instant.
So I think it's actually relevant.
Avenge me, comrades!
The 1 health is actually pretty relevant, so we're actually gonna go ahead.
Hey, let's play.
Like being at 5 versus being at 4 is. We want to stay at that 4 or stay at 5. Could buy us an extra turn. Opponent can, you know, have a novice trooper and we're dead, versus our opponent needing to have an Alidas or an Albert for us to be dead. You know, they could have another Juliet. They could have 2 quick bladers. Like, yeah, there's the Albert.
It won't be long now.
Maybe I played that kind of bad, but I think it's kind of the.
What to do?
Okay, there. Yeah, I don't know about that taunt then, man. I mean, it's kind of like they're played first, which if we had a, it kind of depends on their 1-drops. Like Quick Blader, I think this deck is a lot more better at dealing with. You know, losing 70 points here or there. We're still 3-1. I mean, that's a great day. Like, I'll take a 3-1. Like, 3-2, I'll take a 3-2. You know. That's what you wanna, and take 2. You know, 3-2 all day, all night. 2-3, yeah, not really that good. 4-1, I mean, I prefer 4-1 too. Who wouldn't? But no, this is definitely my favorite deck to be playing. I'm playing it as much as I can.
Time for me to
Not
prove
as much as I
myself.
can, but
Is fighting and despair all you know?
a decent amount. Let's see here. So I mean, Roach is one of the best cards in the matchup, but in the opening hand, in the early game, we still want to be doing, you know, forced things. I think. Ugh, oh my god, what is this hand? I mean, I'm expecting like a sort of a mid-rangey approach out of our opponent to maybe control it. Definitely not expecting a neutral, so. So if we play this first, Should have the same effect on this. You know, I actually play this first. I don't think it's that valuable of a card, so I'm gonna get it on the board in the early games where, in the early part of the game where we don't really need. That's kind of annoying. I'm still gonna, you know, get a little bit of value out of it.
Let's play.
But you know, I'm looking forward to just cycling this out for something else. That's fine for us if our opponent doesn't play anything else. Like anything spectacular, which they don't. Ooh, May, wow. Play this. I think I can get some value out of this.
Come on, let's play. My king.
So problem here is, I really want to get a lot of things on the board. But if we play this, we're not going to be able to Elf Song. I think we can just go for a later Elf Song. It doesn't have to be necessarily the turn 4 double Elf Song. This is going to do a little better against if our opponent just drops Tribunal, which seems likely, honestly. I'll play Black and Scripture. It's possible Sylvan Justice would be a better play last turn. Okay, well. We're just gonna go ahead and get a bunch of things on the board. Let's see, on 5, what does our opponent really play here? I don't mind going for the evolve here. This is kind of speculative. It's gonna be dealing damage. Maybe it's bad though. I can see it being bad if the opponent's play is, at the top of my head here, exactly Radiance Angel, because it gives them a little bit of value of life gain back, so it just wasted it. Priest of Cudgel, I mean, that's kind of whatever, in my opinion.
I see your weakness.
Unfortunately, it's still at 3 life. Ooh, Airbound Barrage is nice, I think. I think we can do like this.
What in the...
Hey, let's play. Hey, let's play.
You know, if our opponent's goal is to Themis here, that's fine for us. Otherwise, 6 drops. Judge of Retribution is a card I really like to play, but I don't know if it really makes the top tier list these days. Ooh, Elven Princess Mage. I mean, does our opponent have another Themis? I mean, it's totally possible. I like going for the Elven Princess Mage here.
It won't be long now. Guide me, Elder Tree. Hey, let's play.
So another option there, I think, is to go for this Elf Knight Cynthia. This way it allows us to get some value out of Elf Knight Cynthia playing it right away. We don't necessarily need the fairies. I don't think we're in the greatest position. Roach is certainly the card we're looking for. Maybe Fairy Driver. Another Themis is kind of annoying, honestly. The third Themis. The Sylvan Justice is bad.
Cynthia reporting.
So here I'm actually going to choose to evolve.
This ends here.
I want to, you know, threaten our opponent a little bit. I don't want them. We saw the Tarnished Grail last game, our last time against Haven. I don't know if it was actually this person specifically, but if they just go ahead and play Tarnished Grail and we just play a bunch of fairies, we're kind of in Seraph. Okay. Well, I didn't expect to see Seraph, but another Cynthia. Well, I mean, if we're dead, we're dead, I think.
Hey, let's play. Hey, let's play. I will shine. I will shine. No.
Let's see. Oh my god, I'm pretty stupid. Maybe. Let's see. If I had Cynthia, so I had 3 cards. I think we're just dead. But if I had 3 cards here, so if I played Cynthia, I would only be able to play. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. That's kind of stupid on my part.
Let me show you
Okay.
something.
So if we were able to, we had a Cynthia and 2 1/1s. So if we are able to play a Cynthia here with one of the 0-drop fairies, so that'd be 2 spells, and then we could play a, maybe not that.
Did it.
Math is hard. Maybe that's why I don't play this deck. But I hope everyone enjoyed. Looks our opponent luckily did not have to kill there. They were kind of stalling around, so it kind of makes sense that they're playing the Seraph deck. They do need some of the enablers in their hand. But hope everyone enjoyed that. Please remember to rate, comment, comment, and subscribe. I mean, greatly appreciated. I love playing this deck. Look forward for more Shadowverse content in the future, more Forest content in the future, I guess, with Starforge Legends. But I just remembered, actually. Might as well go ahead and open the booster pack on camera, because why not? I think I've opened about 50 Starforge Legends so far. Only gotten about 3 of the legendaries. Opened like 10 standard packs just from like rewards and take 2 and stuff. Gotten like 2 or 3 legendaries from there. Let's see if we can have some luck. Winter's Caprice, no. I mean, got some animated and rare, which is not that bad. But hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.